Hey everyone. Charybdis is a sea monster born of the Greek gods Poseidon and Gaia, the sea and the earth. According to some accounts, Charybdis controlled the tides. In her endless thirst, she gulped great quantities of sea water and spit it out again, causing low and high tides each day. The name Charybdis comes from the ancient Greek word for swallow and belch. Today, let's know about the ancient sea monster and the daughter of Poseidon, Charybdis. Let's start the video, but before that, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. She's featured in ancient texts such as the Aeneid and the Odyssey. Together with her sister Scylla, she guarded the Strait of Messina, a narrow stretch of water between Calabria and Sicily. Calabria makes up the southernmost point of the Italian mainland. Charybdis represented a real whirlpool that sometimes appears there in Scylla, a rocky shoal. The passage is so narrow that it can be difficult for ships to sail safely past one without veering too close to the other. This passage and the resulting stories gave rise to the phrase between Scylla and Charybdis. It describes being caught between two bad choices or two dangerous situations. The phrase endured for centuries through many languages. It was even featured in political cartoons millennia after the stories were first told. In ancient Greek mythology, Poseidon was the god of the sea and one of the 12 Olympians. He ruled over storms and earthquakes. He was also the mythological tamer of horses. When the Titan Cronus was overthrown, his 3 sons divided creation between them. Zeus was given dominion over the sky, Poseidon, the sea, and Hades was left with the underworld. The land, including Mount Olympus, was shared by all. Sailors prayed to Poseidon for protection, but they also lived in fear of him. When the Greek hero Odysseus angered Poseidon by blinding one of his sons, the god sent storms that sank his ship and drowned his crew. This set off the hero's famous 10-year Odyssey back home. Poseidon had many consorts and many children. His son Theseus was a fabled hero and the founder of Athens. His son Triton lived with Poseidon and the goddess Amphitrite in a golden palace under the sea. Orion found a place among the stars. Charybdis lived under a rock. In the old myths, Charybdis was a loyal servant to her father. When Poseidon was fighting his brother over possession of coastal lands, Charybdis helped her father by drowning islands and coastlines in seawater. Zeus punished her by chaining her to the seafloor. After capturing Charybdis, Zeus transformed her into a hideous monster. He cursed her with an unquenchable thirst. Ever after, when she drank water from the sea, she created great whirlpools above. This story may have come about from the existence of a real whirlpool in the Strait of Messina, which is caused by the meeting of currents and can present a danger to small boats in extreme conditions. In other myths, Charybdis was not the daughter of a god but a human woman who stole oxen from Hercules, thus provoking Zeus's anger and the curse. The old idiom between Scylla and Charybdis has a similar meaning to the common phrase between a rock and a hard place. Sailors passing through the Strait of Messina worried that in steering too far from one monster, they would bring their craft within reach of the other. Accounts differ regarding Scylla's parentage, but in many, she is the daughter or granddaughter of Poseidon. In some traditions, she was also the daughter of Charybdis. In some stories, Scylla was a beautiful water nymph who was cursed by a jealous goddess. The myth of Charybdis predates Scylla, who first appears in Homer's Odyssey. Charybdis appeared in many old stories, including several famous epics. In the Odyssey, Circe warns Odysseus to steer clear of Charybdis. Scylla is terrifying with 12 feet, all deformed, 6 enormously long necks with a horrific head on each of them, and 3 rows of teeth packed close together, full of murky death. But Charybdis is even worse. Scylla snatches up 6 of Odysseus' companions, the strongest and the bravest men he had, but the ship makes it through without being dragged down into Charybdis' terrible whirlpool, only to be sunk by a storm sent by a vengeful Zeus. In the Argonautica, the sea nymph Thetis guides Jason and the Argonauts safely through the passage guarded by Scylla and Charybdis. Aristotle mentioned the great sea monster in his writings. In Meteorologica, he wrote that the great storyteller Aesop taunted a ferryman by telling him that with one gulp from Charybdis, the sea would be gone and the ferryman would be out of a job. Well, that's it for today. I hope you're liking Nerdies discoveries. Can't wait for the next video to learn more and be fascinated about. See you on the next. Bye.